Hello everyone. Well, in this video we're going to be covering the very soon arriving Generation 2 mounts that are headed our way most likely in the next week when it comes to Server 1's current progression, because the Paper Plane Week 7 does give Generation 2 mount selection boxes, so it definitely lines up that we will have that system unlocked for us within that time frame. And as always, I want to give a big thank you to Aerolice for helping me fact check all this information and getting you the most accurate info. So, some important things to understand before we start looking at the Gen 2 mounts. The first thing that you need to understand is the following. The Generation 2 mounts, like many other systems, will use a different summoning currency. You will no longer acquire these exploration tickets. It will be a different currency. So you do not need to save your exploration tickets. It will be a new currency for the Gen 2 mounts. Now, you will also no longer in the Generation 2 mount summon pool, you will no longer get fragments, individual fragments for the Generation 1 mounts. These Generation 1 mounts fragments will not drop in the new Generation 2 mount summon pool. However, these mount selection points will still drop in the Generation 2 summon pool, and you will be able to acquire any missing fragments for the Generation 1 mounts from these selection points, which you will still get at a very limited rate from the Generation 2 mount summons. There is, of course, going to be a new and different mount selection point for the Generation 2 mounts that is separate from this one. So again, you do not need to save these up for Generation 2 because these will also be different. Now, as well, just to mention that for those wondering, after Generation 2 mounts does come out, the dailies that you can purchase for the mount system will no longer give these exploration tickets. They will give the new mount summon ticket for Generation 2. So that's how that works. Now let's take a look one by one at all of the new and upcoming mounts that are headed our way with Generation 2 and get a sense of, is this a massive upgrade, or are they just slightly better, and what kind of stats and skills are we looking forward to? So starting off, we're going to have the Husky. The Husky. So let's take a read of the Husky skills here. So we have Husky. Husky gives acceleration and endurance. Acceleration, of course, is haste, poorly translated here because this is translated across from the other game version. And it increases damage taken by enemies by 12% plus 2800, and increases damage taken by a random target by an additional 1% every 0.25 seconds for 2 seconds. And this opening skill lasts for 24 seconds. So here we have a pretty good opening skill here. Anything that increases damage taken or dealt is a very good skill. And so this could very well be a contender to replace Rock already, which is currently the best in slot Generation 1 mount. Now, the first thing you will notice, of course, is that this is a legendary mount. That's right. Our current generation mounts are epic, and the Generation 2 mounts are legendary. It go up to legendary in rarity. So there you have it. They will be legendary mounts. So that's the first mount, the Husky, which does seem to have a pretty good opening skill here. A damage increase, including this random target damage increase, which if you're in a single target fight like a boss, will basically give you an additional 8% damage increase as well. So quite nice. Next up, we have the second generation 2 mount, which is going to be the Chocobo. And the Chocobo gives Amplify and Guard. Now, Amplify, I'll have to double check what that stat is. I believe Amplify is going to be probably Mastery, and I think Guard is going to be Block. Now, forgive me, this is poorly translated, but all we need to understand is it gives a certain amount of stats here. And then let's take a look at the Note Rhythm. Increases damage dealt by the character by 14% plus 2800 points, and gain a shield equal to 8% of max HP every 6 seconds. Maximum 1 shield can be gained in main and last 30 seconds. So here we have another nice damage increase of 14% and this shield as well, which shields equal to 8% of max HP every 6 seconds, and the opening skill lasts for 30 seconds. So quite a nice, actually more defensive slash offensive oriented ability here, because you get both the damage increase and as well a shield, which is quite nice. So another Gen 2 mount here. And moving on, we have the bike, which gives skill and evasion. Now, skill, of course, is the poorly translated determination. And I believe amplify was mastery. Yeah, just double checking. And then skill is determination and evasion. And here's the skill: Annihilation Glide. Deals 80,000% attack power plus 20,000 points of damage to enemies. If only one enemy is hit, damage increases by an additional 20%. Now, right away, I can tell you from the experience with the current Generation 1 mounts, these damage dealing abilities just simply do not scale as much as the others like Rock, which actually gives you a tangible damage increase to your character's damage, as opposed to a hard hitting ability that gets cast once or maybe twice in the battle, but doesn't contribute overall to a significant consistent damage output. So this will probably be going well into the support slot. I can't think of many conditions where you would run an attacking ability over a offensive increasing ability like the other mounts have. So that's the bike. And then next up we have the last Generation 2 mount, and that is going to be the Rainbow Unicorn, which gives crit rate and damage immunity. Damage immunity is, I believe, going to be endurance, if I understand this poorly translated thing correctly. Apologies for that poor translation. But let's take a look at the skill here. So, increases your attack power by 25% plus 2800, and increases character attack power by 250, lasts for 30 seconds. Amplification 5%. I'm not actually 100% sure what this amplification 5% means. I believe that might be 5% mastery as well. So 25% attack power, 5% mastery, and increases attack power by 250, which lasts for 30 seconds. So right away, this strikes me as a very, very good healer. This is a very, very good healer mount. If I've read that skill properly, and I apologize for this poor translation, but if I understand this correctly, if this is increasing attack power plus as a percentage plus a flat attack power increase plus a mastery increase, this is 100% catered towards healers, because all three of those skills will apply. All three of those stats will apply to a healer's healing output, which would be very, very important. So very nice healer mount here, and definitely what the main skill for a healer should be, and most likely the Husky for the rest of the DPS, which I will show again here. The Husky, which gave the additional damage plus the extra additional damage for 24 seconds. This is a very good DPS ability here. Now, there's one other important piece of information you need to know, and that is, you've probably gone into your growth screen here and seen, what is this plus icon here? What does this mean? This is still blank in our version of the game, but what's going to end up here? So actually what's going to end up here in this plus icon is going to be a special mount skill that you can rank up by starring up your Generation 2 mounts. Now, when you collect all 4 Generation 2 mounts, this special skill will show up, which I will show here. You can see here, activate bonus skill rapid attack. So this is all people have this access to this skill once you collect all 4 Generation 2 mounts, and as you start up your Generation 2 mounts, this will level up. Now, this special attack here, the fast attack, is after using the opening skill of your mount, increase all damage by 6%, increase healing given by 3%, reduce damage taken by 5%, lasts for 3 minutes. So you get a 6% damage increase, a 3% healing increase, and 5% reduced damage taken for 180 seconds after you use your mount's opening skill. So this is actually a very, very nice just overall boost to your character's both damage and survivability and healing output if you're a healer. So very, very nice to have this that basically everyone has access to as long as you collect all the Generation 2 mounts. So there you have it, a rather brief overview of the Generation 2 mount system, all the information that you need to know about it so you can be prepared. And yeah, we should be getting this very, very soon. Like I said, most likely next week for us in Server 1, based on the projected paper plane 7 week rewards, week 7 rewards. So there you have it. Hope you found this video helpful. Some exciting gains to look forward to with the Generation 2 mount system. They're not so crazy powerful that it's like, oh my god, they're going to blow the old mounts out of the water. But as you can see, it's more like an iterative increase in damage potential there. And of course, more stats as they are legendary. And this Generation 2 special skill as well, which we will have access to. So there you have it. Hope you found this helpful. Hit that like button if you liked the video, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and hit the notification bell so you know when the next video will be uploaded. And of course, join the Discord. I look forward to seeing you all there. Thanks so much for watching, everyone, and I will see you in the next video. Bye now.